One of the great advantages the North had was Lincoln and his political leadership, as well as the Constitution that gave him a lot of the powers that he was willing to use and able to use later on. So you see, Jefferson Davis, the president of the Confederacy, had been arguing for a states' rights-based constitution, and states did have a lot of rights in that constitution. Also important, remember, the Constitution preserved the right of slavery. Um, the states' rights argument, though, meant that Jefferson Davis couldn't force the states to work together against the Union. So Jefferson Davis was constantly frustrated in his efforts to get the Confederacy to work together as a united front. Lincoln, on the other hand, as the president, had a lot of powers as commander-in-chief. He's also able to articulate the idea of preserving the Union enough to keep people behind his idea that government is of the people, by the people, and for the people. He's also very deft at handling the issue of emancipation. We'll talk about the proclamation more, but initially he backs off the emancipation issue so as not to lose support in the North for the war. Remember, even in the North, a lot of people were not necessarily pro-abolitionist as much as anti-Southern. So if he tried to free all the slaves initially, that might become problematic, and he would lose the 4 border states that had stayed with the Union rather than join the Confederacy. Lincoln needs to be remembered as well, though, by using the power of commander-in-chief to crack down on some civil liberties during this era, especially in Maryland and Delaware. Both of these are states that were important to the Union. Maryland especially had a lot of Confederate sympathy. About half of the people that fought in the war from Maryland, about half of them were going to fight on the Confederate side. But what Lincoln did, he suspended the writ of habeas corpus, which means you need evidence to throw somebody in prison. He put people in prison that were accused of being spies. He cracked down on free press in Maryland. So there were some civil liberty issues that might come up with Lincoln. But overall, he's able to convince the public to support the war, even when it's going very badly. He struggles a little bit during